would love to be playing some Smash Brothers, but these two brought their controllers, and what's banned tonight? Do we have anything banned tonight?
I don't think it's anything banned.
No bans? Steve Ditto? Perhaps I'm not Thrillho?
I cannot.
Steve Ditto!
I cannot believe I came back for this. I, honest to goodness, cannot believe I drove 25 hours from Philadelphia to Plano, Texas, and I get Steve Ditto.
Yeah, baby!
I cannot believe you people.
Welcome back to DFW Smash. I'm so happy. DJDon and Yanni, yeah, getting to play their mains, which, you know, I'm sure that if you've kept up with Smash news as of recently at all, great minecart right there to just scoop away from the team. Even better.
Goodness gracious. An even better one to get him off the ledge. You can't recover. Oh, no. Oh, man. You know, you think you have the play in mind, and then that happens.
I would assume the names are swapped, by the way, just based on the names. Both, like, the in-game tag is Yonni. I think that's Yanni. And Yanni I have known to play the Alex, and I don't think I've seen DJDon do that. But
fair enough. No, brilliant deduction. But then again, got to be able to read all kinds of situations, and that's going to be DJDon doing just that. DJDon, I like it.
DJDon.
Oh, oui.
There's not even a Wario on screen, but again, get blocked.
Wait, sacre bleu!
a little bit off on the pull up right there. Yeah, you have to time that right. Otherwise, yeah, no chance. Nice structure.
Got the glide going. Didn't quite have enough lift at the end. Just, I mean, look, it gives you a pretty gracious amount of distance, I would say, but as does that up smash. Goodness gracious.
Man, it's been very fun to watch the fact that DJDon is keeping up with like all of the PR talent lately, because for a while it was like, okay, he's understood a lot of the Steve stuff, but now is he going to be able to, you know, step it up, build the fundamentals, which he's a newer gen player, right? So you just have to gain the experience, and that has definitely been paying off lately. Has had a couple of big wins, and I mean, had the lead on Yanni, although these gold tools have been putting in a whole heck of a lot of work, and boy, we are just, I feel like I'm watching XCOM right now.
A little bit, right? It's just it's a little bit of a slower, more methodical pace of that game. That's going to be an anvil dropping on his head. Straight Looney Tunes stuff out here from DJDon, and that's going to be game number 1 in the Steve Ditto on Yanni, strangely enough. DJDon
game number 1 win, and DJDon feeling it right now, moving and grooving.
Yeah, no, and I kind of like that, keep the blood moving and all that sort of stuff. But then again, you're talking about how he's one of these younger, newer gen competitors. Not exactly that Yanni is the seasoned veteran upon which the scene revolves as we go right back to the triplats for game number 2. I do think, though, it's good to get that sort of competitive mindset in early on and realize kind of what it takes to be in high-level competition, whatever it is, whether it's, you know, soccer or baseball.
The DJDon, and again, not getting the timing on pulling up from that glide, right? Where, like, you have the height to make it back, but you do have to time it correctly so that you can actually snap up and grab the ledge. I'm not really sure what happened to have that stock taken. I think maybe DJDon, after the forward air spike, thought maybe he could save himself by building a block. Didn't do that. I'd have to look back, but that was weird.
But that's the other thing about it being a young competitor, isn't it? Not only are you getting your sort of mentality right, you also have room to make those mistakes. You have plenty of time. You're going to learn, but you have to learn the hard way. And certainly, DJDon did that on that first stock, trying to make up that ground, however, against Yanni. Have to see how successful it is, trying to do a little bit too much on the ledge, but oh man, it's just Yanni is so resourceful, man.
He's got the setups. I love what I've been seeing from DJDon, though, like demonstrating such a clear understanding of what Steve can do at the ledge, right? Is stalled out there with the blocks, hasn't really let Yanni get those really big setups. I mean, he's let him set him up, but he hasn't let him connect them, and that's been obviously the important part. And I mean, you see this, right? He sits out there on the ledge, and he is going to let Yanni, you know, use the rope that he is giving him to hang himself, because you know, you don't have to be swinging like that at the ledge as Steve. When the guy's stalling out there, he could use up all his resources, but Yonni has been caught off guard a couple of times. Still working really well in this game, though. There's another beautiful stall by DJDon. Barely missing out on turning things around, and we are Fortnite.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, yeah, we did see DJDon dancing a little bit. There will be no such celebration in this one, as the switch from Alex to Enderman seems to have worked, Kimona. It's going to be Yonni taking game number 2.
I understand that the ending sequence of that game was played within Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It did not parse in my brain that, like, I recognize that they were playing a game. And that skill had to be executed to end whatever that whole edge guarding sequence was. Do I firmly believe that it was Smash Brothers? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but I will say that Yonni came out on top because he was practicing.
Yeah, we really did just watch. A MOBA breakout in a Smash Brothers game. It looked like.
This is the thing that I think a lot of people get frustrated about with this character, is that it does feel like he plays by completely different rules than everybody else, right? He is playing his own little version of a platform fighter, living in his own little world when he plays this game, and you have to shape Super Smash Bros. Ultimate around him. And what gets interesting is when there is a Steve Ditto, right? There are two people playing a completely separate game at each other, and while there are some fundamentals that carry over, it's great tech. It's so much more about, you know, these unique things that you're doing and how you can pull them off. Another good recovery by DJDon, though.
Yeah, and now it just adds such an interesting element to the game because, you know, you can make the argument, oh, well, there are other platform brawlers out there, like Rivals. You have a character that can just sort of create a platform. Well, it's a little bit different than how Steve is constructed in this game, but also it was developed, the entire game was developed with this character in mind from the very beginning. Steve wasn't added until, what, 2-3 years into the game's life cycle, so it's a little different. Then again, it's a little interesting when you see Steve Dittos because they're having to play around. They're used to being the only ones that can create the stage and craft it to their advantage. Now you have to play around the other person's platforms, the other person's land masses that are just kind of floating precariously near the ledge. And it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. You kind of have to give the edge to experience here. And this is why you're maybe seeing Yonni and DJDon hanging on for dear life against each other at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's dead even, I mean, that goes to say so much about DJDon. When I think of a Steve Ditto, and when it comes down to so much of just how much of this character do you have down, I would expect very few people to be able to contest Yonni in that, but DJDon doing a great job of that and nearly got him onto the last stock. Or does actually have Yonni onto the last stock. I forgot that the skins are changed up again, but here's Yonni on the last stock. DJDon just needs one more.
Oh, yeah, that's what makes Ditto so precarious, doesn't it, Kimona? Because it's not just you're playing against your opponent, you're also, in a way, playing against yourself, because it is your character on the screen as we're going to one stock each, but you're playing against the perception that you have of this character as you're playing it. You're not seeing how the other person has played it. They're a whole lot more familiar with their game than you are with their game. But DJDon saying, let me familiarize you real quick with what I'm able to do.
The most godlike DI by Yonni, but it's not going to save you. A second powered rail minecart. DJDon taking down the Steve Titan of the region himself. He says, this is my role to fill. I'm the Steve guy now. I am the Steve. That kid right there, right over there, that one, yeah, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it turns out, and that's kind of makes you wonder if that's a little bit of a strange gap to have. A lot of players really don't like playing that Ditto. I don't really know what Yonni's thoughts are on it, but I get the feeling if we were to ask him right now, there might be a few colorful observations that were perhaps could be made about it. This DJDon, it looked like he was just frustrating them into really mistakes that we don't usually see Yonni make.
Yeah, I feel like there was just a whole lot of, well, you know, I've got the lead in this game, and again, like you said, normally you're used to, as the Steve player, being the one guy that gets to do those things, and you talk to Yonni over anybody else, he will say, yeah, I play this character because he's broken. I play this character, like, there was a tweet by him a while back where it was
gotta
like,
respect it.
where it was like, oh my god, you're so carried by Steve. Yes, I am, buddy boy. What are you gonna do about it? You know, in more Yonni words, but
yeah, fair enough.
That was sort of his.
It was
he was like,
my
yeah.
accent.
He was like, yeah,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this character's broken. Of course I'm going to play him. Do something about it. And DJDon said, I'll do something about it. I'll play it too. Shoot.
There you go. Fight fire with fire. And or minecart with minecart in that instance, as we saw. I mean, how